The Arc Season 3 Episode 2 begins with Arc 1 still struggling to process James Bryce's disappearance. There is barely any time for the crew to mourn before Admiral Ben Hammond steps forward and tries to take control of the ship. He treats the situation like a military transition, but Ian immediately recognizes that Hammond is overstepping his authority. Hammond backs down almost as quickly as he took command. That should make the situation easier, but the speed of his retreat actually makes some of the crew more suspicious. Sharon then makes a surprising decision by inviting Hammond to become her second-in-command, despite the fact that other officers have already earned her trust through previous crises. The situation becomes more serious when Arc 22 contacts Arc 1. The people aboard the other ship demand that Sharon and Ian come aboard, but Hammond refuses to allow an immediate rescue mission. He points out that the previous attempt to save someone from Arc 22 already cost 2 lives, and he does not want to repeat that mistake without knowing that Arc 1's shields and offensive systems are ready. Alicia tries to get the necessary systems operational, but she cannot meet Hammond's requirements. The crew therefore makes a drastic decision. They knock Hammond unconscious and take control of Arc 1 themselves. The mutiny is not about replacing Sharon or permanently taking command. They simply believe that waiting will leave Sharon and Ian in danger, so they decide that the rescue has to happen now. Sharon and Ian eventually reach Arc 22. But what they find there is far stranger than either of them expected. The ship is filled with clones. There are multiple versions of familiar faces, but these copies have clearly lived very different lives from the original people aboard Arc 1. Their existence immediately raises questions about who created them, why they were created, and what happened to the people they were copied from. At the center of this strange community is Drake. Unlike many of the other people aboard Arc 22, there does not appear to be a collection of Drake copies. He seems to be the only version of himself there, making his position especially unusual. More importantly, Drake has a very specific interest in Sharon. His attention toward her is intense enough to make the situation immediately dangerous. Sharon and Ian soon find themselves facing the possibility that Sharon could be subjected to experiments by the people running the ship. They fight their way out of the immediate threat, but escaping the experiment does not mean escaping Arc 22. They remain trapped. The episode therefore ends the space storyline with Sharon and Ian surrounded by people who look familiar but cannot be trusted. The bigger mystery is no longer simply what happened to Arc 22. It is why the ship was filled with clones in the first place, and why Drake seems particularly interested in Sharon. While this is happening in space, Homebase 1 has its own collection of secrets. Governor Vesna Illich is secretly involved with the colony's new sheriff, Milan Petrovich. The revelation becomes even more complicated when the crew learns that Milan is Dr. Sanjivni Kabir's former husband. That makes Vesna's earlier decision to recommend Milan for the sheriff position look very different. What appeared to be a straightforward administrative choice may have been influenced by their private relationship. Kabir and Dr. Marsh are caught off guard by the revelation, adding another layer of tension to an already unstable colony. Elsewhere, Angus Medford and Kelly Fowler are trapped in a bizarre underground environment. The cave system does not look like a normal natural formation. Strange high-pitched noises echo through the area, green lights illuminate the surroundings, and a door opens onto what appears to be a pit filled with lava. Everything about the location suggests that something unusual is happening beneath the planet's surface. Felix Strickland sets out to investigate what happened to Angus and Kelly. But VS and Milan appear to know more about their situation than they are willing to reveal. That secrecy becomes increasingly important because the colony may be dealing with something that the newcomers do not yet understand. There is also one major reason to believe that the story of James Bryce may not be over. His death was never completely confirmed. His body has disappeared, and Eva refuses to accept that the lack of evidence should simply be treated as proof that he is dead. She specifically asks for security footage because she believes it could reveal what actually happened during the mission. The missing body gives her investigation real weight. If Bryce survived, someone may have deliberately concealed what happened to him. If he did not survive, the disappearance of his body is still something that needs to be explained. By the end of the episode, several mysteries are moving at once. Arc 1 has survived a mutiny, but Hammond's ambitions remain questionable. Sharon and Ian are trapped aboard a ship populated by clones, with Drake showing a disturbing interest in Sharon. Homebase 1 is dealing with secret relationships and a potentially dangerous environment beneath the planet. Angus and Kelly remain trapped, while VS and Milan appear to have information they are deliberately keeping from everyone else. And Eva continues searching for Bryce. The most important development is the discovery of the clones because it changes the scale of the mystery. Arc 22 is not simply another survivorship. It is connected to an experiment involving human duplication, and Sharon appears to be unusually important to that process. That leaves Sharon facing a much bigger question than how to escape. Why does Drake want her? And if the people surrounding her are all copies, what does that say about Sharon herself?